All right. Hi, everyone. I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and thank you for holding out through the technical difficulties. Today is the second year of Dyepot Weekly. It's the second birthday. 2 years ago, I was able to launch this series thanks to the support from a lot of you for my Kickstarter. I used the Kickstarter to launch it, to help me get the materials and supplies to get things going. And your continued support through the ChemKnits Creations Etsy shop, through the ChemKnits Patreon, through all of those things has really, really helped me continue making content. I've been making 2 videos a week consistently for over 2 years now. And that feels really, really good. So make sure you're subscribed, turn on notifications, because in addition to those 2 videos a week, I do frequent live streams and special series. The next big series to come up is the ChemKnits Hanukkah Special. On December 22nd, it'll start, and you can still pre-order the yarn sampler that goes along with that series. So every night you can watch a new yarn dyeing video and unwrap a mini skein to see what there is. And then you can play with and swatch and knit with or crochet or weave with the yarn that came in the sampler. So it's another way for you to interact with the content. Now I will pop a link after I grab the link. ChemKnits Hanukkah. Okay, I'm popping the link in the chat. The link will also, all the links I'm going to talk about right now are in the video description. But yeah, the DK weight samplers are almost sold out. There is only, I think, 1 left right now, but I did hold back. So once I start packaging everything up and I have everything wrapped and I count, I will be releasing, I think, a few more of each sampler size. But for now, I wanted to make sure that, if there was a mishap and one mini skein got destroyed or something, I wanted to make sure and be conservative with the number of pre-orders that I released. But there's still a handful of the fingering weight samples left, and there are a couple skeins of, there's 2 different bonus colorways that you can add on, and there's a few of those left as well. And yeah, so that's the thing that I'm really excited about. And and yeah, but so let me make sure I can see all the chat. I'm so glad. Yeah, so I do try, unfortunately, the monthly dialogue streams I try to do in the evening for the US, which means it's the middle of the night elsewhere. But so otherwise, I can do some more daytime streams. And this month has honestly been mega, mega busy between, I've had some contract work, and I've been working for the Hanukkah series, which is all top secret, so I don't want to give any spoilers. And yeah, so doing all that has just been super, super busy. And then we have all the Jewish holidays, so they're off school. And we had our HVAC replaced, and then there was a mistake, and we lost power. But anyway, everything seems to be working again, and the stars have aligned. And so, yeah, today we're going to do a lot of prep work probably. I'm going to make some stock solutions to plan for some videos that are coming up. And I've got a lot of random dye powders, which I don't think you can see at the moment because my head is in the way. Yeah, in those, this is how I store it. If I have dye powders that are left over from a video, the way I often store them is I'll keep the cups and I'll cover them with foil and I'll stack the cups on top of one another and then put it inside a Ziploc bag. Sometimes if I want to mix them, then I might include it in a bigger container, but yeah, I think I wanted to keep them separate for some reason. I don't know. I do have the other camera. Nope, that's me. I do have the other camera set up as well. So the extent of the setup I've done for today is getting everything downstairs. But yeah, I thought that we'd hang out and chat, and I will have to put on the respirator, but then I'll pop back in and you guys can ask questions, and yeah, we'd have some fun. And oh, I almost forgot. Okay, so for today only, starting right now, I just hit the start on this. I'm having a little thank you sale in the ChemKnits Creations Etsy shop. And I should double check. This will end tonight at midnight Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Massachusetts. And, whoops, I want to make sure I grab the coupon link because, you know, that would be helpful. And so this coupon, why can't I have the link? It's not going to give me the link. Bummer, okay. Anyway, the coupon code is going to be really, really easy. Today only, I'll drop this in the chat, today only, save 10% off, ready to ship yarn in the ChemKnits Etsy shop with the code birthday. It's just birthday, all caps. So it's a very easy little sale. So it's just 10% off with the code birthday. I'm all ready to ship yarn. So this coupon code does not work on the Hanukkah samplers or on Dyepot Weekly sponsorship, but works on just about everything else. And so all the items that it works on should be added to the coupon already. And this does end tonight, October 18th at midnight. So yeah, so take advantage of it while you can. And yeah, I think that's most of the housekeeping stuff. Oh yeah, speaking of sales, Knit Picks Sale Yarn of the Month is one of my favorites. It's Knit Picks Stroll Fingering Weight Yarn. It's the one I'm going to be using today. So normally with the bulk discount you get 15% off, but you can get 20% off right now, and that's awesome. This works on the Stroll Fingering Weight Yarn, Stroll Sport, roving, and the soft blanks. But you can also save 15% off. You can save 15% off site-wide with the code fall15. And I just dropped that, my affiliate link to that in the chat. So I am a Knit Picks affiliate and also with Amazon and Dire Supplier, which means that like the links that I share, if you make a purchase after clicking on those links, the companies know, and then I earn a commission. So that's what an affiliate link means. Obviously, you do not need to use my link to take advantage of any of these offers. It just helps. Yeah, so with I buy all the Knit Picks yarn I use myself, but when you guys buy yarn, then that helps me buy yarn, you know, so that's how sort of that works. Oh, well, thank you for, it's past midnight, oh goodness. Well, have a wonderful evening, and I'll try to edit out the horrible audio from the replay as soon as this is done processing, but I'm planning to hang out for a while. Hello, everyone. Ooh, you guys are from all over. This is awesome. Okay. Yes, I think that is all the housekeeping stuff, and yeah. Oh man, so last year for the Hanukkah special, the sale of the samplers, I bought myself my first employee, which, okay, sounds weird, but I bought myself an automated skein winder. And so, which is an amazing tool, and it's definitely helped. It helps with rescanning, which I don't rescan a lot, but it helps, like if I'm going to when I make the mini skeins for the sampler, it helps with that. So there's not like repeated stress injuries. Oh, welcome. I'm so glad you're new to the channel. Welcome. Yeah, and then, yeah, so that was sort of that thing. And I know, well, it actually seems like the stream is working reasonably today. So let's keep our fingers crossed that that continues. But I think that upgrading things like the computer and the editing software is one of my goals for the end of the year. One thing I would like to be able to do would be to improve the audio in all my videos in general, but I'm a little nervous about a wireless mic pack because we have a radio tower nearby and there's a lot of interference, and so I'm afraid of getting this all set up and getting it attached to the camera and then discovering either a lot of lost audio or corrupted audio from different things. So that is something that I'm nervous about, but you know, we'll see, and we will certainly test things out in the coming months. All right, I am gonna stand up. Oh wait, and I should turn off this laptop camera, and I should turn off the. Oh wait, did I turn that on instead? Haha. I am a one-woman show who is supported by her family, but I run all the stuff while I'm streaming, and so that makes things complicated. I do have the chat up so I can see. Just watched the video about fading in sunlight. Yeah, so the newest episode of Dyepot Weekly for today was I looked at some dip dyed broken violet colorways, and then I wanted to see if they would fade. Well, I've seen things fade over long periods of time on the windowsill, and I have some videos showing some of those things already in my frequently asked questions section. But some people have said that like over the course of the day things faded, and I hadn't observed that personally. So I wanted to put it to the test and see. How many should I do? I need to get some zip ties. Now, I mentioned affiliate links and that kind of jazz, but you can find a lot of links to like my steam pan, the Knit Picks Bare Yarn, and a lot of stuff like that in the video description. And in the, oh goody, I do have some more bottles. I'll look at those. And, zip ties. I don't really want to use new ones. I use, and when I go into the mudroom and stuff, that's when we could use the stuff. I use these reusable nylon zip ties, and I like highlight these a lot because they are awesome. You can see they definitely take up color, but they're great as an extra tie. So for example, when things are wet, it's a tie that's easy to find for untangling on the yarn, and they do well through the spin dryer and everything too. But not only that, when I'm dyeing, you can pick up the yarn with the zip tie, and it's sturdy and it doesn't get super hot, so you can flip the yarn easily when we're in like low immersion in the steam pan and things like that. Just trying to make sure that I don't have the yarn tangled for the offset. So later today on Instagram, I'm planning to post something about Paradise Fibers is having, and okay, so I'm also an affiliate with them, but I don't have any links for you guys right now. Even though I do have an affiliate link for them, I didn't have one ready. Paradise Fibers Murder Mystery Knit Along is starting, and so I'll be posting about that on Instagram and Facebook later. Okay, this is some Stroll fingering weight yarn. I absolutely love this. I knit with it and I dye it all the time. It's probably the yarn I use the most in my videos. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 462 yards to 100 grams. And I'm just going to pre-soak it in some plain tap water for now. And I'm just going to prep some more skeins, and then we'll probably make some soft lotions and then dye some yarn. But seriously, ask me anything today. I mean, that's usually the way I operate anyway, but, you know, ask me anything. Oh, man. I can't believe I've been making videos for so long, and I still have so many ideas. Oh. The only issue I think I ever really have is that, you know, sometimes I feel like I put so many things on the schedule that I'm like, oh, I don't have time to just like pop on and do like a random live stream. But I'm hoping I'm hoping to schedule, and I have to work into the schedule for this, I think, but I'm going to try to schedule some more like low-key, hey, let's hang out and chat dyeing and spinning days for the new year. And I think that I should sometime in November be able to tell you guys about the like, maybe at the end of November, I think now, I should be able to tell you guys a bit about or maybe early December, certainly by the end of the year, I should be able to talk about some of the stuff I was doing contract-wise, but I think it's something that you guys will all enjoy. But it's all been top secret, so, oh man. Okay, so I've got 6 skeins of yarn ready to go. More of these zip ties. Okay. Let's see. You made yourself a nitty knotty? Woohoo! I love my PVC pipe nitty knotties. I remember looking to buy one, and I don't think the wooden ones are super expensive. Maybe they can certainly get expensive, but maybe they start at $20 or $30 or something. But the PVC pipe was $6, and it's for flat. So, okay, so I definitely need true black. I'm out, and that's one of my favorite colors. Oh, right, we need some card colors. I think I wanted blue, nope. Peacock blue, nope. Avocado, nope. And Jello, sage leaf. Oh, maybe a good time to like chat stuff. I can finally tape the rest of these labels on my guys. Sand dune, pop, true turquoise, bright aqua, twilight green, forest green. Forest green is one of my favorite colors. Okay, I'm gonna read this one. I enjoy all your content. I think you're the absolute greatest. I'm always amazed by what you create. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. You've never tried dyeing yarn, thinking about trying. What is the less expensive yarn that you can get, and where can you get it? I am happy to talk about that, and I will pop on my head. So I buy a lot of my bare yarn from Knitpicks, and when I discovered I could also be an affiliate marketer for them, that like ended up working out great for me because I was using their products anyway. The reason why I started purchasing from Knitpicks is that when I did research on a bunch of different sites of where to buy bare yarn, they were one of the few companies that let you buy individual skeins. So Wool to Die For has great discounts if you're willing to buy a 5 kilogram minimum order and you're registered as a business. But Knitpicks, you can buy 1 skein of yarn, 5 skeins of yarn. You're not limited, and they have free shipping over. Sometimes it's $50, sometimes it's $65. I'm not positive what it is today. So right now, as I mentioned, Knitpicks is having a sale, so it is 15% off. And they do have some free shipping for international options as well. So I just dropped the Knitpicks affiliate link back in the comments again. But yeah, so that's one place where I buy a lot of my bare yarn. Dyer Supplier also has some really great affordable options. I am an affiliate with them as well, and they sent me a lot of their yarn for free to test and play around, and I have a relationship with the company. They actually gave me a full set of Jacquard acid dyes for free to play around with. So I have a great relationship with them, and their prices are also really good. They do sell some sample skeins as well, and they also have like tiered discounts. The more you buy, the more you can save. Their free shipping minimum is higher, so it's like I think $165. But yeah, the stroll, yeah, so like those are some of the places where like I bought yarn. The first yarns that I ever dyed were Lion Brand Woolies yarn that were only 20% wool. I had a bunch of that in my stash, and I wanted it to not be white anymore. I ran to the supermarket, grabbed some Kool-Aid, and the rest is history. Those early projects are on my blog versus on the YouTube channel, but it all exists. And so let me see. ChemKnits. Okay, so here's an updated list of a bunch of different places where you can buy bare yarn on my website. But Knitpicks is the one that I tend to recommend for people starting out. But I think that like I buy a lot from dyer supplier, knit picks, and wool to dye for, depending on what it is that I want to use, because each of them has some different yarn bases, and so depending, and especially depending on sales, sometimes you get a better discount with like some like other ones. So yeah, I'm happy to talk more about that, but that's sort of the like thought process behind it. But yeah, it's funny, knit picks. So once I reached out and they gave me something for free, they gave me a sample of their like one of their subscription kits. And so I was excited to like unbox that and provide feedback, but otherwise I've never really asked them for anything. And I'm not sure how much I am on their radar because they're fairly large. But yeah, and since like I've been buying stuff and been promoting them already, I don't know if I should reach out and ask for stuff. But yeah, so I am not good about like doing that yet. Let's see. Oh, thank you. So it's $175 for free shipping at Dyer Supplier. And they have an option, yes, they do offer Sezzles, so it's a buy now, pay later option. And let me just go and grab, so in the link to my website, I do have an affiliate link for Dyer Supplier there. I really, really like Dyer Supplier. I've been really liking their yarn a lot. One of my favorites is one that is a little odd. It is, hold on. There we go. Oh no, come on. The one that I like is a little odd. Here is Dyer Supplier. Yeah, so you can pay, you can do it, they have like payment plan options with Sezzle. But one of the yarns that they have, and am I still, no, okay. One of the yarns that they have that I absolutely, absolutely love is, who's the one? It's their silvery sock. It's like jam packed with spirulina, and is just beautiful. It's sparkly like no other. Okay, this is, shoot, what were the ones that I wanted? Where is my diary? Okay. That is probably spam. I am going to ignore it. Oh, I did want periwinkle. Okay, so I did this one already. Okay, so I want periwinkle, and I want purple. Okay, well that's easy. It's right there, purple. I think that's all. Those are all my stocks, or did I want like a, I could think ahead. Sun yellow, no. I actually hate sun yellow. It solidifies. Golden yellow. Maybe I'll mix up a bit of golden yellow too. Just while I'm thinking about it. So I store my dry dye powders in these, like, these are some IKEA, maybe like soccer bit tubs. And you can see that on a lot of them, the ones I've used the most from Dharma at least, I put the colors on the top. At least Jacquard, like their labels have a color on them, so it makes it a little easier to sort through. So sometimes I get asked about Jacquard versus Dharma acid dyes, and honestly, I really like both. I think that they have different color options. So some of them have some colors that the other one doesn't have, and so I think there's no problem to using a combination of both. Yeah, I've dyed the silvery sock a few times, and it's awesome. Okay. Oh, and you guys, I just went shopping in my own shop, and I took 2 skeins. I think that this might be what I use for like the Paradise Fibers mystery, murder mystery knit-along. But it was so funny. Like, I definitely have a ton of yarn that I've dyed in my personal stash, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go shopping, guys. I'm gonna go shopping. Let's buy. Oh, I went and just like deactivated those listings. Shoot, if I were my label tape, where would you be? Don't tell me I have to buy new tape. That would be wild. Oh, I do have one of those big guys. Okay. And that's not helpful for labels. So this is a behind the scenes look at what goes on when I'm making sock solutions. Okay, I'll use this one. So funny. That's not the tape I normally use, but it's gonna have to do because my purple tape is gone. Hello everybody. Just bought from Dyer Supplier for the first time. Ooh-hoo! Yeah, so the Dyer Supplier bases are separate from the Knit Crate bases now. The Knit Crate bases are still done, I think, at the Peruvian mill, and they have a mill in Italy now for Dyer Supplier. This is 1% true black, and today is 10/18/19. So I always label my stock bottles with the date, the color, usually the brand name if I'm not sure. And here's my little tip. I will fold one side of the tape under before I put it on the bottle. And so this makes it really easy to peel off when it's done. So that's my little like hack. But the problem is I'm running out of space for my stocks. I should check and see how much liquid this holds and make sure it holds the volume that I need. I believe it does. These are little 4-ounce bottles. All right, a 4-ounce bottle is like barely enough. Yeah, it's like a little over half a cup, but that's fine. That's all I need for this one video. Let's see. Thank you, everyone. Woohoo! You're dyeing some wool and cotton and avocado skins and pits. Oh, awesome. The pits are making a much pinker shade than the skins. Awesome. A dyer sample pack. No. I was talking about Dyer Supplier. Dyer Supplier does offer single skeins. So you can buy like just one, or you can buy the pack of 10. Okay. I'm going to write directly on these bottles because I'm trying to not peel off my nail polish. I've got, let's see, I'm wearing, and this is like, they're not a sponsor or anything, but Live Love Polish. They've got this like shimmery, like green, and then over it I put Hollow Taco, which I'm obsessed with. I love Simply Neological. It's like my quest to do hollow yarn. I want to spin hollow yarn. Ooh, I haven't tried the fingering singles yet. I've got a lot of the Superwash Merino. I've done a lot of the 80/20 and 75/25, which honestly, if I didn't have the packages labeled, it's really hard to tell the difference between the 80/20 and 75/25 from Dyer Supplier. So this is going to be 1%. 1% periwinkle, and oh shoot, I should measure how many. Oh, I didn't think this through. Because I'm gonna have to weigh out the dye. Okay, 1% periwinkle, 10, 18, 19. 1%. Things you don't think out. It's going to be, or do I want the force green to be bigger? I'm going to have to think. Oh, Rebecca. Okay. Where's my graduated cylinder? 191. See, I've used these mini bottles for stock solutions before when I only wanted 100 milliliters, but I want 112 milliliters. So maybe I should make like 150 milliliters and then just use the leftover. So that's okay. So I now have 100 milliliters here in the bottle, and I've got 50 milliliters here in my graduated cylinder. Okay, I've got 49 milliliters in my graduated cylinder. Filled up to the top. Okay, so I would say 16. So 49 minus 16 is 33. So if I did 125 milliliters, let's do like 130 milliliters, so 1.3 grams. For the small ones. Oy vey, guys. Normally, like I advise, one plan of making stock solutions is to have a lot ready to go, but with certain videos, it's helpful to just have it in advance, and so that it's done and ready to go. Hello, everyone. Okay. Okay, well, let's just start with those 3, and then I'll move on and worry about the others. Because I kind of want more of the forest green, but I don't have a ton of space. I mean, I love forest green. It's one of my favorite colors, and I don't think I've ever made it as a stock. I especially like having stocks of some of the like really deep saturated colors ready to go because it's always handy for like a glaze or something like that. With the golden yellow, I don't necessarily need a stock. I just want some of the color, and I need my scale. I wear a scale right here. And the last thing that I need is some hot water. So excuse the noise. Making the tap water nice and hot. And my protective gear. And I changed my mind, I'm going to use this scale. Oh my goodness, it does. Okay. This is my respirator. I love it. I mean, I hate it, but I love it because it keeps you safe. I hate the respirator just because it makes it harder to breathe. I don't love measuring out 1 gram of dye. That is not my favorite, but it is what it is. So we've got here, this is going to be purple. Oh dear. Come on with the scale. Oh, 1.1, what did I say? I wanted 1.3. There we go. So with this one, sometimes I have to give it a bigger push, because if the change is so small on this one, oh, it's like 1.4. Fine, I'll do 140 milliliters for that one. So purple was 1.4. I needed my little itty cup. And let's measure out the periwinkle. Oh, come on. Maybe I should use the other scale. The thing is, at least it's like accurate when scale, you might have been spelling your death wish. Okay, they're both at 1.4. That's fine. We'll just go with that. Okay. So I'm going to start with the 40 to make my life a little easier. And I'm not worried about like insane accuracy, but I don't know if you guys can start doing like this weird spread eagle move. Oh gosh. Okay, so here's the purple. And oh crud. I added the 2 spoons together and I don't know which one's which. This is hashtag dire problem. So I did not do like a proper pasting. Hopefully I won't regret it too much and it'll dissolve beautifully, because I'm going to be lucky today since I'm on live YouTube. Oh dear. I recommend starting with less water when you're making your stocks, as what I did here, because you want to make sure all the powder is wet. And so let me see if I can do a better example. I'm going to measure out. Our 40 milliliters. I'm going to go in with just a little bit of water. So that way I can go through and really make sure, and you could even do like that, less than that, to make more of like a paste. But you want like all that powder to get wet. And oh my gosh, you could see the periwinkle, I could see breaking. Actually with both. I think both of these colors break, and I'm really, really excited to play with them. I might regret not having more, but I'm also just out of stock solution bottles. Okay, now technically the powder can add some volume to this. So if I was super duper concerned, I should remeasure this volume to come up to the total volume, but like I'm not concerned if I'm like 10% off. with what I think the concentration is. Oh, and let me just wet this red powder. And then I can remove the mask because the powder is now all wet. And then I can talk. And I'll check the chat again in a moment. But yeah, wearing, like, I definitely get exhausted from wearing that mask. But one of the things I look for, like, as I'm stirring, is I look for if I splash the water up, do I just see liquid come down, or do I see little drops of, like, solid stuck to the side to know, like, how well the dissolving is going. And so what I'm going to do now, this is our periwinkle. I'm going to carefully pour as I make a little bit of a mess. And carefully pour in there, and that's actually done a really nice job. Now I'm going to measure out the other 100 milliliters. And so this is the total volume that we have for this project today, but I'm just going to see, yeah, this is like really, really well mixed. And I'm actually going to pour this back in. It was just a nice way to check the mix. I frequently will use pouring in between two bottles, but the bottom of our periwinkle bottle did not have, it did not show like any powder left there. So that was a very, very good sign. I'm actually going to add the rest of that liquid, and now we're going to go ahead and fill this, hopefully not making a huge mess. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, that felt awesome. That felt so awesome and slick. Let me see. What scale do I use? I should have a link to it on, so there should be a link in the video description, which says like my favorite dyeing materials and stuff. Or if you go to ChemKnits.com, it's the second post on there right now. And the second post, and it should have a link to the scale that I use on Amazon that I really, really like. This one is my old one. And I was like, oh, I haven't gotten like any powders on the new one yet, but I should just use the new one and probably throw that other one away. Although I don't need to throw it away. It's still good for like shipping and stuff. I do clean it off before I do anything like that though. Okay, and now with the purple, I am going to do the same kind of thing where I'm going to pour a bunch. So the periwinkle is definitely, oh, that's great. The periwinkle is definitely a blue color, whereas the purple feels a lot more like grape, if that helps anyone. Yeah, so Jacquard only has 40 colors in their line. Dharma has a lot more. Oh, solids. There are definitely some colors that I think Jacquard is missing in their line, but you can definitely, I don't know, I really like premixed colors. I really, really like premixed colors. Here's this last little bit. Oh, and there we go. I need a lid. The dye supplier website seems to be geared more towards wholesale buying, with the more you buy, the more you save. For sure, like they definitely have like that wholesale initiative, but anyone can do it. So you don't have to say register. You could be an individual who doesn't need wholesale. Like you don't have to be like someone with a shop to take advantage of those wholesale options, like you do with wool to dye for. And I am saving this like little bit of leftover drips because, oops, and hopefully not making a mess over by my sink. There. And see, I've got some pale purple here. Okay. And I need to do, normally I try to reuse the gloves as long as I can, but if my hand starts sweating, and then I can't. So Knitpicks has some like bulk discounts as well in 20 packs. So, oh wait, I actually think Dyer Suppliers swapped from 10 packs to 5 packs. It's been a while since I double checked, but I think that you can buy 5 packs. Dyer Suppliers on Etsy, and they have a website. So I haven't ever been to Dyer Suppliers Etsy shop, and in my relationship with them, that's not something that they've talked about with me a lot. So it's not something I am sure about at all. But you can definitely get single skeins on their website. Yes, okay. Let's do this one, and what am I doing next? Black. That thing fit a liter? I hope so. I need a new spoon. My thing with getting dedicated dye equipment is I try to make sure it looks as different as possible from the equipment that I use for cooking. That way it's very easy for everyone to tell, like, oh, this stuff, not that I ever have them in the same spot, but I just want to make it really easy for me to see. Yeah, you got a 5-pack? Oh, okay, cool. And, oh, I love when I put gloves on and then I try to use my fingerprint to open up my phone. Ooh, yay, yay. Thank you for your order. I will probably ship either later this afternoon or in the morning or something. Depends on when I have to get the kids. Okay, so I think I can fit a liter in here. And I'm going to grab my funnel. Yeah, so normally I recommend making dye stocks of either colors that you want to have in stock solution that you use a lot, or if you're going to be doing a big batch and then make a stock and then use that stock over the course of a day or a week. You can obviously use them for longer, but my preference is to use them for shorter stretches. So glad you guys can hang out with me. I tend to get like very tired and I don't know. Doing like big days of stock solution are not necessarily my favorite. Okay. And here on ounces, so I want 10 grams. $10.06, good enough for me. Get a little water for teaspoon. I'll grab a tiny bit more. So it's like a little dance. If you add, in the tasting, if you add too much water, then you could end up with a clump. If you add too little, then it can sort of be extremely tasty. Sorry for the swear, guys. Oh, this is real fun. Rinse it out. And not do that again. Okay, well you are going to just sit with some hot tap water. And I'm just going to rub you up. It's about the whole plus or minus thing. Okay. Oh no. Yeah, I just gotta go slow and stir and dissolve that mess. I did too little. Okay. But it's all wet now. Yeah, see, it's just goopy. Which actually, we've got this other water here that's just gonna go. It's eventually all gonna go in here anyway. So, but you can see how just a little bit. Actually, yeah. Let's take this spoon and just go like this. Dissolve it in here. It's eventually going to transfer it into this container. This is where I'm planning on measuring it. So why not? And since it's got a higher side, I can stir more vigorously. I like to use my small cups, which are, I mean, they're technically disposable cups, but I don't dispose them. I like to use the small ones for weighing because, I mean, I could buy official weighing boats, but I mean, I just want something light so that way I can easily like measure. There we go. That's good. And you can just grab some more. Actually, let's just pour all of you. Those clumps. Of course, since I'm wearing a black shirt today, I can't tell. I don't think I splashed. Lots of stirring, lots of stirring. I'm going to grab some hot water directly into this cup. Oh dear. I will say there's many things I love, and I love having stock solutions, but making stock solutions is not my favorite. Especially when I don't follow my own advice and things end up feeling like a little more sloppy. But there we go. Things are dissolving. You can go ahead and filter. Like there's some colors that crush out and are hard to dissolve. And so sometimes like it's worth filtering it into your stock solution bottle. And then I make a note of like, if I spill like a substantial amount, then I'll add like it's a less than 1% stock solution. But yeah, even with that little bit of hot water, that helps things dissolve. But what you don't want to do is start with, you don't want to start with like and add like a liter to it right away, because being able to get more hot water to help things dissolve is indispensable. getting close with the cut. And I'm just going to stir. And we might go dye some yarn and come back and stir this more. Oh, man. Oh, man. But yeah, when you guys working on any exciting projects, aha! Yay! See, it happens. But man, even like a tiny amount of black looks so, so dark. I finished editing another video, and oh, okay, that's just some drops left. That's good. You can get rinsed, officially get rinsed into our rinsey friend. It's gonna hang out over there. And where are we now? We are at about 800 milliliters. And I'm going to come peek at the chat. Let's see. You're curious, how do I decide what colors I'll use together? Oh, yeah. Color combination is not something I consider a strong suit. Yeah, it's definitely not a strong suit of mine, and I just, you know, I try to look at inspiration photos and things like that. But I'll talk about more of that in a little bit. Ooh, dyeing Christmas yarn, stained glass square granny blanket. That sounds awesome. You're using Fire Engine Red recently, and it's gloopy and slimy and didn't want to dissolve. It looked like clotted blood. Oh gosh. Yeah, Fire Red was one that once I got it in solution, I think it was great, but I think that it took like some time. There's a blue I got from Dharma, maybe Sapphire or something, I don't remember, that did not stay in solution well. So Jacquard Brilliant Yellow is better for stocks than Sun Yellow. So I'm using this graduated cylinder to measure the liquid. And this is where I go very, very careful, try not to splash. So in theory, like I could have the water measured in advance and then have some liquid to rinse out this container, but I did not do that today. Oh dear. Should just exactly fit, but for all we see color here, I'm not seeing any clumps of powder, and I did not see any clumps of powder go in the funnel. So guys, that's a win. That's a win. That's a dye stock. Woohoo! Woohoo! Okay, I'm gonna take a little break from dye stocks because that's what I want to do. But I'm gonna go rinse this out and combine it with our fun friends. Okay, fun friends, fun times is officially right there. Okay, let's go and put away some of these colors. And let's dye some yarn. We're only like an hour in and I made 2 dye stocks, you know. Making dye stocks actually can take me like a while sometimes just to get everything like set up and going. That's why, like, when I was like, oh, I want to stream, I just want to dye some yarn. I was like, but I have stuff I have to do. Let's combine it. Oh, the behind the scenes stuff that I don't show in videos anymore. Okay, let's dye some yarn. Let's see. You want to do a self-serving Halloween stuff? That would be really awesome. A cropped cardigan. Ooh, that sounds pretty. What size bottles would I mix my stock solutions into? Oh gosh, I have so many different sizes. I think, so there's 4 ounce, and then the one that I had just fit a liter. Maybe it's the convert 32 ounces to milliliters. So yeah, the other one might be a 32 or 34 ounce container because it just fit a whole liter in it. And I've got, so this one fits a liter. I've got some that are half the size, and then a quarter the size, and then an eighth this size. So I've got a few. The big bottle that I just used, I got from Dharma, and I really like them. You do need to poke in holes if you, have, you do need to poke in holes sometimes a little bit more if you want to get a good stream coming out. You might have seen me struggle with that in some videos before, but overall, I think it's fine. Cool. And so, and again, before I start doing some yarn, I'm really grateful that you guys are all hanging out with me today because it gives me an excuse to, like, I just want to use up this color. I just want to use up some of this color. But I already have like a video filmed from it. So there is that. So today only, I cannot type. Okay, so yeah, today only 10% off my Etsy shop all ready to ship yarns, not any pre-orders, but with the code BIRTHDAY. Yeah, so far I've made stock solutions and I'm about to dye some yarn. I was like, I didn't have like a big, like, okay, this is a plan for a birthday stream, but I was like, oh, since I haven't been able to like dye anything all week, I was like, I have this list of things that I have to get done for some videos I need to make. And so I'm like, aha, I'll stream while doing that and hang out. Use urea to get the dye dissolved. You can look up, yeah, I think I only used the urea with some fiber reactive dyes. I haven't tried it with acid dyes. But yeah, because most of the ones that I will keep stocks of aren't ones that I've had trouble with. The ones that I don't like, I'm like, I'll just use it fresh. And I have a note, I'm like, I'll make a stock of this other yellow from this other brand or whatever. But yeah, urea, I think, can definitely help with the solubility. Okay, where is, oh, I'm gonna turn off my face. But I like to come and pop in and see you guys. And let's turn on the stove. So I'll come back and show like the powders. I'm not going to say what the colors are in those powders because I don't want to give anything away, even though they're from like a bunch of different videos. So it's going to be a little bit of a mystery color. And maybe this that. Nope, that was the wrong way. Should like that. Yeah, approximately. Okay. I've not added any vinegar yet. And I'm not even going to worry about, let go just like that. Yeah, let's do it like that. I'm not going to worry about squeezing out the yarn from the pre-soak because we're going to add some like water and stuff back in. But I wanted to do something a little different. And sort of layer this yarn in this way and then dye a bunch at a time. I do want to add some more water I am being extremely specific today by adding a splash of vinegar and some water. Oh gosh, see the specificity, guys. Oh my goodness. But we're gonna then add dry powder, probably like shimmy things around. I haven't entirely decided. I guess I want to add, I'll just go ahead and add all the pre-soak. So we're like medium immersion. Like there's some space, the yarn can like float up a little bit. But some of it is still at the surface. And let's turn on the heat. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Which way do I need to twist you? There. Like. Oh no. Okay, that's perfect. It's like messing with the camera while the like screen is on the other side of the room. If I put dish soap in your dyed powder and a little water to make it paste, it helps dissolve the lumps. Oh, huh. Yeah, Dharma Trading Company definitely has some good troubleshooting tips. Welcome everybody. Oh yay! I'm so glad that you got some of the dye. That's awesome, awesome. Okay. So I'm gonna I'll wait till it heats up and then I'll put the mask back on. But it shouldn't take too long. Actually, I might use this opportunity. This one to get. Do I not have a beverage? I do not have a beverage. We'll grab the beverage. So I can have a drink. So, and again, not sponsored, but just to show you guys, oh, we're on camera. Again, not sponsored, but just to show what I grabbed. It's just some hint water. This isn't sponsored or anything. I'm just sort of obsessed with it because that little like hint of flavor I find it really satisfying. I wish that they came in like a larger bottle versus like these small individual ones. But I do enjoy the shape of these individual bottles when I reuse them, but in general, I don't like bottled water, just as a concept, but this is a little treat. You're not a big fan of wool. What other fibers are good for dyeing? So with the dyes I'm using today, you definitely want wool or protein-based fibers like alpaca or silk, but basically any natural-based fiber is a great candidate for dyeing. If you want to dye things like cotton and bamboo, you're going to want to use fiber-reactive dyes. One of the easiest ones to find to like start playing with would be like a tie-dye kit. I use Tulip brand one-step dyes a lot. I have a lot of videos of that on this channel. RIT dyes aren't necessarily the quote best commercial dye in terms of like longevity and whatnot, but they're easy to find at big box craft stores, and those work on cotton and wools as well. So synthetic fibers are some of the hardest to dye. So just putting that out there. Okay. We've got 3 skeins of Stroll, which is 20% off at KnitPicks right now. And I have affiliate links in the video description, and I dropped it in the chat before, but so Stroll is the sale yarn of the month, and that is 20% off all Stroll. But on top of that, it is, there's 15% off site-wide, so that is awesome. Okay, we're going to go to the desk. There are 2 bags of stored powder. And, oh my, you are looking good. Okay. So, well, I've got one here. And let's just go in. The goal is to try to use this up. Oh, is this still salt? This might be from the salt video. So that video's come out. But when I just have so much leftover dye, I don't want to do, like, leave no dye behind in this exact same colorway over and over. So I'm semi doing, like, a gradient-y thing. And since we're not low immersion, the colors should spread out a little bit more. I'm not necessarily helping it, though. And I will need to move things around. Why do I see lime? There's lime green right there. That is weird. You probably have some black mixed in, because that's what it sort of looks like right now. Go on top of that lime. Give it just like a darker, whatever blue you are. By going this heavy, we're not even necessarily like going to see like speckles everywhere. But there might be like some hints of the different colors on the different yarns, because like I'm not worrying a ton about the border. Okay. Oh my gosh, I got so much of these colors. Where is my spoon from? And by spoon friend, I just mean my spoon. So I'm curious. Oh my gosh. That is some shallow color penetration. Oh goodness. Goodness gracious. Goodness me. Well, we're going to be moving things around a lot. We're just going to start moving stuff around-ish, even though it is fairly early. There, that one I flipped a little better than this one. But this should, in theory, make like a fun set. Just working on a fade all in one pan kind of thing. I wish I'd love to like build and design myself a kitchen with like a TV that I could see over the stove. In theory, I don't like island stoves, but I'd love one with a TV, so that way I could see, that way I could like have the comments up on a screen and see it while I'm dying. I'm totally just like touched. Okay, I'm gonna reduce the heat, and let's go in. We're gonna have to do multiple rounds, and that is okay. I'll be okay if there's some white left behind as well. What does it say this one is? Oh, this was one of the salts. Funny. I thought I had used all that up. Oh, goodness. Okay, let's... Oh, dear, that was heavy. Okay, that salt... Aha! 1 cup gone! Don't worry, there's still, like, sugar and citric acid. Like, you think you're done? You think you're done? Oh, wait, no, we've got sugar. I wanted to do that test of like the salt and sugar and everything to just see for like, well, really, because I was thinking about like with, say, the Dyer supplier, with like its really big Stellina friend, like I was worried about like doing that with citric acid. And I still have yet to try that. So I haven't even like tried that at this point, but this is Dyepot powder mixed in with some sugar. And yep, more sugar. I'm not cleaning off my gloves in between like swapping colors or anything. More black. And I am rinsing my fingertips in a little cup that I'm adding to, I've got this leftover dye collection spot. Oh dear, thank you. Got the clean up, do-do-do-do-do-do. The only problem with wearing the respirator is then my nose starts itching. Does that happen to anyone else? Now, of course, you can't scratch it because, let's see. Is indigo dye powder good to dye wool or wool blend yarns? That is a great question. So I've dyed wool with indigo dye, and it depends on, honestly, the type of indigo vat that you're going to set up. Some vats are too basic, and so they're not recommended for using wool, and others are fine. So I think a hydrosulfite vat, you can use wool, but an iron vat, maybe you just want cotton, but I could have mixed that up, so it's worth double checking. I'm sure I talked about that in my indigo video from forever ago. I have a whole Indigo Week playlist that shows how I messed up and then I came back from the mess up. Funny, it always amuses me when I see yarn and there are, I see breaking and speckles that I was not expecting. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm taking the yarn inside the tie and I'm like flipping it to expose more spot that needs color. So you can see that even without waiting, that these colors are striking pretty quickly. I'm getting better color coverage on this middle one than this end. Okay, it is warm. I don't necessarily recommend touching yarn with parts of your body, but, you know, use common sense safety precautions when playing with this. Okay. So, I think I've decided, and each time I do 3 in a pan, which you can fit, I really prefer doing 1 or 2 skeins at a time. And a big reason for that is just that you don't need to move the yarn around as many times when you can spread the yarn out more. So that is just a fact. Put this blue on. That's not to say I don't think that this will be a pretty colorway, but I think if this were straight dye powder versus dye mixed with like citric acid or salt or sugar, we would see more penetration, more color penetration than what we're seeing here. But I don't know, I'm having fun. I haven't tried like exactly laying out yarn quite like this before, so I am excited by it. And heavy. Again, I don't mind if there's some white behind, but I just don't want like huge patches of it. And I am trying to use up this powder. That is one of the goals, because I have had so much of this leftover dye. It is ridiculous. Yeah. And there's still more. Okay, I'm going to come and sit down for a bit. Up. Oh, I can breathe. I can breathe. Wash my hands again. Trying to make space for where I store all the colors, but I think as a fade set, that's actually really, really fun. Let's see. Hello, everybody. Am I putting, oh, okay, so I'm using leftover dye today, and the leftover dyes are mixed with citric acid powder, some are mixed with salt powder, some are mixed with sugar powder. And the video's already on the channel, because I wanted, like, in theory, like when you have yarn with stellina, you don't want, I'm just cleaning up a bit. I was a little overzealous. When you're cleaning up yarn, when you're dyeing yarn with stellina, if you have yarn, or if you have an environment that is too acidic for too long, you can damage, you can definitely damage the luster and the sparkle. And so people recommend sticking with vinegar when you're using that, just because if you're sticking with vinegar, then you're not going to have those issues. Because you can, while it's still acidic, you can't get the pH too low as easy. It's easier to overdo it with the citric acid. So I did the experiment for that reason. But I just had a ton of dye left over. And you can see I'm still using it up. I've had to leave no dye behind already. And I wanted to mix it up. And beyond this, I have even more. But yeah, the salt and sugar left over is from a while ago. Thank you. I'm glad that you like the combo. Ooh, wow, that does look really, I just came over. Oh, I just came over and saw it on screen. Probably another spam call. Let's see, I'm going to take a picture. Oh, that is fun. So I like dyeing multiple colorways in one pot. These three I probably list together as a set because, I mean, they just go well together. But in general, my dye lots tend to be 1 or 2 skeins. I think that 3 is a tad bit crowded. Oh my goodness. It feels good to just like go for it. But it's funny. There are definitely, and I don't know if you can see, there are these pops of a pale green in there that, and I guess there's a little on there too. That's something that until you use the dry powder, I think it was Caribbean blue, but I'm not 100% sure. Until you use like a dry powder of a color, you don't necessarily know. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Here we go. What? I see it? Oh, that's why I was like trying to put my face on and like can't see myself because it was behind. But yeah, until you use a dry powder for some kind of speckling technique, it's hard to know if the powder itself breaks. But if you see a powder break into multiple hues, it doesn't necessarily mean you'd also be able to capture that breaking with dip dyeing, because the rates of the different dyes could still absorb at like the two colors could absorb at a similar rate. But sometimes when you get those rogue colors that weren't what you were expecting, it's because there's another color mixed in to get that pre-mixed color. So my favorite black for speckling is Dharma True Black. Jacquard Jet Black has multiple colors in it, so it's not just a pure black. The blue is Bright Aqua. Oh, Carol, you would know. Because I know you were waiting for that one. Yeah, you're right. I think it probably is Bright Aqua. Oh, thank you. How much do I sell skeins like this for? So I usually sell skeins of stock yarn for $29, and then for sets I usually I don't know how much I discount. I don't do sets a ton, but I usually discount it because it's multiple skeins, and so yeah. But it'll probably be I haven't had a shop update in October yet, just because things have been so busy. But I've got like an accumulation of yarn, so I will be having a shop update at some point. But I do give ChemKnits patrons advance notice when shop updates are going to happen, because that way, like, if there's a yarn that someone's waiting for, then like when stuff goes live and whatnot. But yeah, I would imagine I'll do one before the end of the month. But today, all of the ready to ship yarn is 10% off with the code BIRTHDAY. Because today is the second birthday of Dyepot Weekly. I have officially, well, technically probably for over 2 years, because during the Kickstarter campaign I started, but I've been publishing at least 2 videos a week for 2 years. And yeah, I'm not burnt out yet, so that's good. No, I mean, there's sometimes when it's like hard and I'm like, right now I don't have a lot like in the queue scheduled ready to go. I have a lot of stuff pre-filmed. And so I've been really working to edit stuff that I filmed, there's some stuff that I think I filmed like last spring. I think I might even have a snow dyeing one that hasn't been edited yet, just because there were other things that felt higher priority for the queue. And so then like certain things I honestly don't remember what the other one was, but yeah, some things just end up getting pushed back a little bit over and over. But I've got some really, really exciting videos coming up, I think, that you guys will really like. I mean, one of my favorite yarn that I dyed ever is coming up, I think, on Tuesday, and then next Friday. I think next Friday's video is the one where I go from yarn to a finished knit project. Finally, I have been wanting to do that video for ages and ages. But yeah, no, I love this color combination a lot. I just don't love being stuck, because I made too much dye powder. So I don't like being stuck in a colorway and having to use that same one over and over with leftover dye videos. And so that's why this is a good fun thing. It's a different way to use the colors. I haven't done something like this before. And honestly, I'm enjoying it so much, I'm probably going to need to do this for a Dyepot Weekly video. I would start off with I'd pick the 2 colors I wanted to start with, rather than going back and doing something that was left over. I don't really need to be letting the yarn sit right now. I just wanted to take a little break and come and chat. But yeah, there's lots of celebrating and lots of sales everywhere. KnitPicks is having a sale, which is awesome. And so yeah, sometimes people ask how to support the channel, and so the obvious ways are going through the shop, either the Hanukkah sampler or something ready to ship. But I do also earn, when I share affiliate links, I do earn commission off of that. So if there's something that you want to buy anyway, and it's something that I recommend, then it's a win-win because it doesn't cost you any more. It's the way that the company sort of pay me for the advertising, I suppose. which is super handy when it's something I'm using anyway. And then I'm like, oh, I can recommend this because this is what I picked to use already, and it's what I like. And yeah, and I'm not afraid to like call nitpicks out when I think that they're doing something that I don't like and whatnot. So I hope that you guys can trust my recommendations. But yeah, welcome, Sarah. Welcome home from work. What else was I going to tell you guys? But yeah, oh, and so then there's the ChemKnits Patreon. I do have a Zazzle shop with a tiny bit of merch. There's links for all this stuff in the video description. But super chats are always a nice thing to do as well. There's a little $sign at the bottom of your chat window. At least there should be. I'm not seeing one. If it's not there, let me know. But maybe because I'm me and I can't super chat myself, I don't see it. But anyway, there should be a little $sign, and you can leave a super chat. It's kind of like a tip jar, but no pressure. Ultimately, the biggest way that any of you can support all of this content is by watching, engaging, commenting, subscribing. All of those things help, help the videos get recommended to more people, which then helps like opportunities come and like all that jazz. So yeah, I am really, really grateful for the community and for all of your support. Oh, and I'm grateful to not be wearing my mask for a little bit. Yeah, it's nice. Good morning. Oh, you have to go to work? Yeah. The timing streams and whatnot and everything is always really, really hard. Because some things can be like the middle of night for some people, and like other times like in the day, and so that can be like complicated because I do know that there is an international community watching. And so those of you who live in far time zones from me, I appreciate you tuning in when you can. Yeah, and the like Hanukkah series will be coming out like at about 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, because that's like after sundown where I am. But then I'm avoiding posting spoilers for at least, I will try not to post any spoilers until the video's been out for at least 24 hours. With that, so that means you guys can all like unbox like at the appropriate time for your time zone. Although I suppose Australia is earlier than here, so maybe it won't be appropriate for your time zone. But yeah, might be a day late. I don't know. I just remember when I came back home from Australia, I went back in time because I arrived before I left, because of the time difference and the time that it took to fly. But yeah, today we are leaving no dye behind. And okay, we're starting to get less white, but I think I'm gonna like flip and add more dye like 100 more times. Maybe not 100, but you know. Oh goodness. At some point I'm gonna run out of powder, and then I'll declare it done. I probably didn't even need to wait that long. I just wanted a break and to come and chat with y'all. I've started doing some more. Oh goody, this is actually looking pretty good. Aha, there is a section. Let's see. You're hot. So this is similar. This middle one is similar to a colorway I've done before, but it's on a different yarn base. The one that I did in the last Leave No Doubt Behind was on Hawthorne. And this one is on, there we go. This is on Stroll. There we go. And I am all respiratored up again. So the one thing from doing all of this at the same time in the same like dye pan is that there can definitely be some like cross contamination between the two, which is honestly something that I'm okay with, but that's a reason why if you're doing a fade set, you might prefer to do things a little more separate. Not to mention, I am not clearing my hands in between switching these colors. So, oh dear. That time we got, I think that might have been the first time. I think I've been starting with blue and going into black. And that time we definitely got some blue speckles over here, or black speckles over here. So I might want to go through, and add some more light black speckles. Or it can just be like a little sampling. It's fine, Rebecca, right? It's fine. Okay, this is my speckling hand. Let's flippy dip you over. Oh, I think there's like lots of little bits of black in there. I think it's fine. Yeah. This is the point where like I start moving things around, like non-specifically, if that makes sense. Looking for areas where I think I want a little more pigment, some more color. I still have some more, although the citric acid one might have been wet. So I might almost be done with the blue because it might almost be out. That'd be a very, very good thing. Because that's my goal. Leave no dye behind. Leave no dye behind. Because I can't bring myself to waste it. Like, it would just make me sad. Because I just like color. And yeah, it's like financial, environmental, all those reasons for not wanting to throw it away. Okay, cool. There's some like stuff on there. But yeah, things are striking. And I mean, I'm using very non-specific amounts of vinegar here, and there is some citric acid in here as well. And so what the kinds of things that I'm looking for are areas where I just want more color to try to be as balanced as I can. And that's actually good. I love what is happening with this black. The like gray with all the speckles and stuff is just so beautiful. Yeah, this is actually sort of leaning on a technique that I've been, oh man, how solid. Oh no, you're not that solid. Leaning on a technique that I've been a fan of for a while. What are you? Aha, citric acid. This one had gotten a bit damp at some point. So, oh, I did not mean to leave you there. Spoon.
The heat's on low, so I guess I'm going to speckle with this hand now. Give you some there, some there. Set it down. And so this is to try to help with that, some of that color penetration. There's still, I think, some of the sugar. I mean, so there is salt in here, there is sugar in here, there's citric acid in here now, there's vinegar in here. We're just trying to use up, that looks like a tablet of some citric acid. Use up this color, all while creating something fun. And give a couple pops of black onto there. Okay. We're getting so close, you guys. So unbelievably close. Although I guess I have to go rinse off the spoon because we got covered. Okay, we are getting so close to something that I feel happy with the balance. And again, I don't mind there being some whitish or pale patches. I just don't like to move yarn around and see one ginormous like white scratch. That's what I don't want. But I like, you know, so like something like that, this doesn't bother me. Something like that doesn't necessarily bother me, even though I think I'm going to add, because I have some more, I'm going to add a bit more color. Because why not? But I could be satisfied right now. I'm just, I can put a little more color on this, make things a little more saturated, and that would not be a problem. There. But I think that the three of these are a gorgeous little set. You're about done. You are, let's try to use up the sugar guy. Should have done the blue first. Okay. You guys, I'm declaring done. And this is like mega clumpy. Okay, there. There's still a little bit in there, but I am going to call it on this yarn. I'm going to turn up the heat a bit. Just a bit. Set a timer for 14 minutes. And going to check. Okay, that is good. Always worth checking when I get like mega vigorous. That's why it's always worth like making sure your work surface and like areas are clear, because sometimes you could end up sending some powder a little further. I'm much more likely to do that when I am dealing with a powder mixture like I am today versus when I'm dealing with just a straight dry powder. In my hands, and I'm going to come forward and answer questions. But you can see one of those like hot green pieces. Ooh, gotta come sit. Okay, so let me see. I think what the blue was bright aqua. I think that's what Carol reminded me was that I had used before. Let's see. Oh, it took you this long to realize that LNDB was leave no dye behind. Yeah, that's my like leave no dye. I don't know how often I use the leave no dye behind acronym on things, but yeah, like I abbreviate. Oh, and I can't even. I don't think I sat down and I didn't even turn the camera on. I sat down and I was chatting with you guys, and you couldn't even see me. I abbreviate Dyepot Weekly, like DPW, and then I abbreviate Leave No Dye Behind, LNDB. Okay, so the blue I think is bright aqua. So when I say blacks have other colors in them, yes. So Jacquard Jet Black and Dharma Toner Black. Jacquard Jet Black has a lot of like some reds and yellows in it. So when you speckle, you see that breaking. And Toner Black does have some other colors in it as well. I think True Black gives you like true black speckles, which is probably why it's called True Black. And so that's the one that I use the most, because you don't, like, if you want black speckles, you want black speckles, right? But I do have, I think, a Dyepot PS video where I looked at a lot of different, I was just playing with black and gray and white, and I played with a lot of different techniques, and I don't know for sure if, like, dip dyes, if it breaks and you see that second, like a huge separation with that way. But, you know, with speckling, you would see it. And so that's when I played and decided which black was my favorite. Okay. And then, even though I'm still on, you can see my tush walking by the camera. I'm grabbing, even though there's still plenty of time, a aluminum pan to set this yarn in, because I have all this other liquid that we can use to dye another skein that will be dry, and then maybe after that one, I don't know if I'm going to do a third or what. Let's see. No, I don't want to update now. I just want to read that question. Oh, man. So if you guys watched today's episode of Dyepot Weekly, and I think I mentioned this in that video, but I definitely, when I first shared the pictures of the experiment that I did with the food coloring fading, I've had a lot of requests for people to do that same kind of experiment, but on different colorways, or not like food coloring, but to do it with acid dyes or on commercial dyed yarns. And in theory, that would be an awesome experiment, but I imagine, and I could be wrong, but the time scale could be a lot slower. And I went ahead and I did this fading experiment because I knew some people had reported seeing the fading over the course of like a couple hours. And that's what I really wanted to test. And to see like how extreme it was. And there was definitely fading on the dry one too, but it was a lot more subtle, you know? And so
it was less obvious until like you flipped it over. And so I really wanted to do something to test something that I had not experienced personally before because it had been reported. I have not seen similar reports with things just like bleaching in the sunlight with commercial dyes or commercially dyed yarn. There's no doubt that they might fade some in the sun. The experiment might need to take longer and more days, and I don't necessarily want to leave yarn outside for more than one day, just because like animals and all kinds of stuff like that. So that is, I don't have plans to do other fading experiments at this time, which isn't to say I won't do something at some point later on, but yeah, that's sort of my thought. But basically, the lesson is I see you, stove. If you're going to dye yarn with food coloring, I recommend, or whatever yarn you're dyeing, I recommend drying it indoors outside of direct sunlight. And if you have to be outside, at least choose a shady spot. So that is my personal recommendation for that. And oh my goodness, I am tired. We had not last night, but the night before, the power went out 3 times, and there's nothing as loud as the power going out, which is silly. It's not that anything like beeps or something. It's just, it's so loud because I sleep with white noise, and so then like I can't sleep. And so that was a long, long night. Yeah, but all right. Good. I'm glad the stream's going well. The next live stream that I have planned is for Sunday night when I'll do this month's ChemKnits dialogue. All right. I still have 2 more stock solutions I want to mix. The question is for how long I stream today is really going to be, since I didn't like eat. I mean, I had breakfast. Oh, you can see it got a lot brighter in here. I think the sun came out outside. What was I going to say? I ate breakfast, but I might get hungry for lunch at some point. The power was out for most of the towns around me. Yeah, we lost power for like in the middle of the night for like 3 or 4 hours, and then in the morning for about like half an hour. I was in the shower when the power went out again, and I was like, oh, man! At least I had hot water though, so that was good. So, but yeah, the storm was real bad. And what's the other thing? Oh, all right. So I might have to stop because I might need to eat. Versus the like having to pick the kids up. At some point, I mean, I'd love to do like an epically long stream someday. Remember the days when I did 6-hour streams? Those were so long. I don't know how I did it. Well, I mean, I think I planned like a Star Trek, so like it was fine and it wasn't an issue. But yeah, those were long, long, long ones. But yeah, Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time is when I'm going to do the monthly like dialogue, and it is going to be a picture that I took of a bumblebee. I haven't even decided what I'm going to do yet, but the golden yellow might be what that, or like would be for that if I get that stock made. When you went to work yesterday, there's no power. Oh, yikes. Hello, everyone. Okay, where? Just checking. Okay, I think I just set up my other pan. But yeah, I find sometimes like my containers and pans and stove are my rate limiting step when it comes to like dyeing yarn and stuff. Okay, I am going to stand up and do this. Oh man, I don't know what my hair is doing today. Okay, this is really, really pretty. All right, there's 4 minutes left on the timer, but I do want to add more water. I'm not worried about adding like more acid or anything. We've moved this around a lot and the colors are striking well. But I am just adding more water because especially with like low immersion-y type stuff. Sometimes if you're dealing with a lot of powder, sometimes there could just be some powder somewhere that hasn't dissolved. So allowing things to move around more can help. And yeah, just making sure everything is like well submerged, and you know, I've moved things around a fair amount already, but I am moving it again just to you know, make sure. There could be some dye along the edges, so you kind of want to keep an eye out for that, because if I'd kept this one pure, I wouldn't want that, but oof, I love this as a set. Love, love, love. Oh man. Yeah, this excites me. This is going to have to be a Dyepot weekly video at some point because I am enjoying it. I think that this is the kind of thing that I was going for in the summer mini skate mini series when I was trying to like create, and I did create fade sets within one pan, but you know, it was going like the other, like the long way, and so I should have just like folded them in half. I'm the queen. Oh, I like to try. Thank you. And yeah, what else is coming up? I'm ready. So till next week, there's still 2 days off of school, and actually Lucas might have half day. I don't know. October is like a stressful month because I still have to make Halloween costumes and things like that. One of my neighbors was like, "Oh, maybe we could pay Rebecca to make Halloween costumes." And I'm like, no, Rebecca barely has her act together when it comes to her own kids. Oh man, I'm like, I don't have time for that. But I do enjoy doing it, which is why it's just like on the list that just is continually expanding. But yeah, no, the blue is really, really awesome. The colors, like with the webcams, aren't always necessarily true, but I think that they are like pretty good, honestly. Why is... Oh, I see. Okay. It's like, why was Etsy saying that? I do not know. Okay, what else is going on? Yeah, just lots of, so let's see, for the Hanukkah special, I have 3 videos left to film. One of the bonus add-on colorways, and I still have to dye the other, but I filmed the video for the first one, which I suppose technically that's like the last part of the video. And then I have 2 more of the nights to film, but I finished filming 6 nights and the bulk of one of the add-on skein videos. So I'm feeling really good about that, and I just have a lot of mini skeins to make. But I think you guys are going to enjoy it. There's, I think, a really fun mix of techniques that will be in that series, and I'm really excited. I haven't started editing any, but the filming is working. It is going well. Yeah, oh gosh, we haven't decorated for Halloween yet. Technically, I think I still have my winter, I've done like seasonal handprint art with the kids when they were babies, which in theory, like I swap out with every season. And I think the one that is still up is the winter one. Now granted, I don't have a lot, like I've got one for like October, one for November. I guess this is technically the December one. Then I have like a love one for February, and then I don't think I have a summary one. So yeah. Hide my face. What are my kids gonna be for Halloween? They are gonna be baby Groot and adolescent Groot. So I have to make them in like tree costumes, basically. I got, where are my tongs? Here they are. I want to use the tongs to try to remove some of the liquid from here.
just to make life easier. There's a hint of blue in there, but I'm not super concerned. Yeah, so long time ago, I guess with the second set of costumes I made for Ryder's first Halloween, they were R2-D2 and BB-8, and that photo is on Instagram. When I did that one, I made I used a pair of old pants from a relative and created the droid costumes from that, which was really awesome. But otherwise, I tend to start with a sweatshirt, a hooded sweatshirt and a pair of sweatpants, and then modify them and decorate them. So, especially because if the kids wouldn't wear a mask or something, I've done that for Pikachu and stuff like that. So the plan is to do to convert the hood into the shape of Groot's head, and then and then add the quote vine things onto his body. And that's not bad on the edges of the pan. So that is, and the heat is still on because we are going to dye some more yarn. Yeah, that is my plan for that. And we've got here another skein of Stroll, because Stroll is the sale yarn of the month over at KnitPicks. And in addition to 20% off the whole Stroll line, you can save 15% off everything at KnitPicks. And I just dropped my link in the chat. And these coupon codes, I haven't tested it yet, but these usually stack with other sales. So Stroll is 20% off. In theory, and if it works like the ones in the past, you should get an additional 15% off of that. And if you bought a bulk 20 pack, you would get, the coupon codes usually work on those as well. So you get more, the savings gets even bigger, which I love. Okay, so we are, this is functionally full immersion. This yarn was not pre-soaked, but I am just trying to submerge it. Okay, the water is warm, but not so hot that I'd burn myself. So I'm not sure if you can tell, the yarn did pick up a hint of some pale blue. Hopefully there won't be a ton of bleeding on that other yarn, but I am sort of spreading us out. And then, yeah, we've got some leftover dye in a lot of different containers. So this is going to spread out. They're not just going to stay where I poured it. But I'm having fun just sort of pouring it. And again, these colors are going to spread out. There's a lot of acid in here. There's a bunch of stuff in here. But we're just layering and layering and layering. And there's more where all of this came from as well. So this is sort of just that, ooh, pigmentation. Ooh. Okay, now here I go. It's like a matter of time before I stick my hands in it. There, and I've got more color coming. Where are my, here my tongs. Where's the zip tie? What? Oh, here's a zip tie. I was like, I added a zip tie to all that yarn. What on earth happened? That is supposed to be my savior. Yeah, so you can see a lot of color did strike already. But now we've got this, like, it almost looks iridescent in there. And trying to not tangle. If your yarn gets tangled from crazy ChemKnits shenanigans like this, what you can do is wait for it to dry to untangle it, and that is my recommendation there. Okay, now we're coming with a lot of color. A lot of color. Oh, actually, maybe it's not that much color. Okay, I thought it was more. But I'm pouring in. As I pour it in, you can see I'm like moving it around. And that's because, like, if I poured it all in one spot, then you might see, like, you would get one spot where it all strikes. So with these leftover layerings, and ooh, this is gorgeous. It's worth sort of shifting things around. Still got that color, and I still have some more stalks that I want to make, but I'm going to turn up the heat. And but you know, it's hard because if I was going pastel, like, I have enough color that I could keep going with some of these like kinds of colorways, but this is a nice subtle one. No idea how much vinegar I just added. But oh, this is so pretty already. And so the other thing now is we've got that color layered, but we also just, I want it sort of spread out for absorbing everything that is left. There. Let's set a timer for 15 minutes, and then we'll see where we are. But that successfully used up a lot of the liquid that had been in those cups. And so it shows in, like, a lot of that is stuff that easily could have just been rinsed out and gone down the drain, which, you know, I'm not passing any judgment on, like, washing stuff down the drain. That's certainly something that I do with some frequency even, but it's just, look at the pretty color. And some of these, like, no dye left behind, some of them end up being a little, like, weird sometimes. And you're like, Rebecca, that is the ugliest yarn I've ever seen. You know, and I don't get offended when you guys say that. I'd rather you be honest. But, yeah, it's all, I think, in good fun. And, God, I hope I didn't make a mess. Oh, man. Oh, dear. This is why, like, I always wipe everything down. And, like, man, I want to buy more, but I'm getting really hungry. So, okay. Let's do that. And I still have more of these colors saved, and I'm putting the foil back over it, popping it into a plastic bag. What's funny is, like, I have another package of more dye that I haven't even opened up yet. Whoops! You know, it's funny because I'm like, I was kind of freeing to dye sometimes when I'm not filming, even though since this is a live stream, clearly I am filming right now, right? But there's something that is just freeing about letting, oh, it looks, I don't think it's that deep as it shows on camera, but it is, like, there's these gorgeous, like, layers in it, and so I think it's just so pretty. But yeah, there's something freeing about doing this and, like, not, you know what's freeing? The fact that I don't have to edit it later. That's what's freeing. And I do just very little editing anyway, but
I don't know. I enjoy filming a lot. Editing is harder just because the editing itself doesn't take long, but it takes hours for those videos to export. And while those videos are exporting, I can't really do anything with the computer. So I couldn't stream, I can't use my computer, and so that's the part I don't like. I don't like that waiting part. But a lot of times, like, I will sometimes work on editing while I'm filming. So in these times when I'm coming and chatting with you guys, then maybe I'd go and I'd edit like a portion of the video. I try to do a lot of the editing as I'm filming. And so there are a lot of things that I cut out and be like, okay, Rebecca, this will be a voiceover. Or actually, Rebecca, go ahead and speed all this up and then add a voiceover over it. So that way there's not like 40 minutes of hand painting or whatnot. And so I've been enjoying doing like some of that lately. Because it just helps like put down on the Rebecca rambles. Because I do ramble, absolutely I do ramble. But I love playing with color, and I am so thankful for all of you who are both here watching today, watching the replay, or even, just watch on standard videos. And like, I just appreciate all of it so much because you guys have allowed me to try to turn something I'm really passionate about into a business. A very small business, but a business. Oh, keeps not retiring anytime soon. No, it's a lot of work, but I love it and I'm passionate about it, and it gives me the flexibility for, like I try to build in enough flexibility so that way when a kid is homesick for the whole week, that doesn't mean I can't release a video on like one of the scheduled dates. And I know it's going to come at some point. Like, it's bound to happen that I'm going to miss a deadline at some point. And, I just need to convince myself that it doesn't look like the world will end. But I do try, and I typically try to plan out and work a few months in advance to avoid letting that happen. But I'm really, really happy with this streak. And my list of videos to film just keeps growing and growing. And sometimes, a lot of times I'm not even working from the list. I'm just like, oh, I want to do this. And I'm just inspired. But sometimes I go back and I'm like, oh, right. This was an idea and something I really wanted to do. I've been meaning to do for a long time. Let's put this on there. There are some ideas that I have that I save for sponsored videos. So I offer through my Etsy shop, and this is one of the things not covered in the birthday sale right now. I do offer, I let you in the community sponsor a video, and basically I will dye a surprise colorway of yarn or roving for you with you in mind, avoiding the colors you dislike. And it's just a really fun way to really that you directly made that video happen, and it's just a lot of fun. And so I have some experiments and video ideas that I have a second little list. I'm like, ooh, this would be really fun for a little sponsored video. Occasionally you guys come to me with, so the sponsors come with a specific request or video idea, which reach out to me beforehand, because sometimes I can accommodate. Or if you have a favorite video that I've done, sometimes there's a twist on that I've been meaning to do, and then I'll use that as an opportunity to do it. And so I love doing this and being able to thank someone individually for it. And so that's just a lot of fun. But it's all fun. This is all this is it's funny because it's my dream now. I don't think this was my dream when I was a kid, but for Lucas, my 6-year-old, it is his dream now. He wants to work at home and work for ChemKnits. I don't have the heart to tell him that ChemKnits doesn't make enough to have another person. I'm, it's not good. I wouldn't be able to pay him enough that he could survive on it for sure. But of course, he plans to live with me forever, so therefore that would be fine. But his dream now is to work for ChemKnits someday, and he wants his own tripod, and he's like, oh, we should put stickers on it so we know this is your tripod, this is my tripod, because what if we both want to film at the same time? I'm like, well, honey, you don't have to dye yarn. you could do something else. And he's like, but you know, he has ideas and a vision, and I love that he wants to like work with me and do this. And so that's why sometimes like he pops up in more videos. I love my other son just as much. He's just not interested in doing it. And so if Ryder was more interested in filming a video, then I will show him in more. But right now, you know, I'm like, do you want to do a ChemKnits video? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay. I'm definitely not going to force them ever. But at some point, Lucas is starting to think he might at some point come out with his own little like mini yarn collection. And because right now, you know, he wants to keep all the yarn he dyes, which is totally fine. We keep it and I use it and I make stuff for like me and Keith. And yeah, it's funny. I knit with a lot more Lucas dyed yarn than Rebecca dyed yarn recently, it feels like. So that's funny. But yeah, so but you know, it's like, you know, if you dye some yarn and we put it in the shop, then, you know, I can teach him about like what things cost and then like, and all that. And I was like, you know, then you could get some money to put towards some Legos. And so we'll see. That thought is attractive to him. So we'll see if he does that at some point. But he has some interesting like themes and ideas and names and stuff. So I think that it could be just a fun project for us to do together, but we'll see. I did, at the end of an unboxing, I think last week, I let him pop on to the stream to just say hi, which was his first time on a live YouTube, and I'm not planning on letting him live stream for a while. That would be, either he'd like misbehave, or probably like tell everyone all of our like personal information on live camera. He's my little extroverted, like he's a wonderful, wonderful kid. So I'm lucky. But I never thought that like, oh, I bought him a loom. I got 2 little knitting looms. And so he's gonna try to knit with his own yarn. Oh right, because he wants to make hats and he wants to sell hats. That's what he wants to do. I love it. I love it so much. It makes me so, so proud. Oh, so, so, so proud. Uh-oh, I lost the chat. Yeah, I lost the chat. But anyway, I'm not sure how much time is left on the timer. And I kind of wanted to use up all that powder, but I don't know if I'm going to get to it today. There's still a bit left. I'm peeking at, okay, we're starting to clear over there, it looks like. You saw watch Admiral when he was young. Did he want to have like a cooking show? Because you know, there's been no doubt in my mind that you know, Keith and I have been just talking. It's like, you know, at some point, I'm probably gonna have to let Lucas get his own YouTube channel because he just enjoys the like camera experience and stuff. But again, it would need to be like his choice. I would never want to like force him to, but it's more of the like, how could we say no, like from like a parenting standpoint, if like this is what I do and I let him be a part of it. So yeah. Oh, you're a computer scientist? That's awesome. Like computers, like I wish I have very little coding skills, and I loved it. I did like a computer science camp at the University of Michigan School of Engineering when I was a kid, and so I learned like some HTML and some basic, like very basic C++. And so like I can like, I know like enough how to like do some like really small things, but I don't know. I mean, also this was like what, 20 years ago probably. So things have changed and I'm way far behind the times. I think my one regret, I think possibly my biggest regret is that I don't have more coding skills. From like, I just didn't have time to take more computer science classes when I was in college, and I wanted to, I just didn't, it didn't ever work in my schedule. So yeah. if I let him be me for a video. Oh yeah. Well, what's funny about all of this is that I had an April Fool's video from a few years ago when it was called ChemKnits is Changing Hands, and it was Lucas like doing a little video and like stabbing. Oh, I cringe, but stabbing yarn with knitting needles, and he's like, "I'm making," and it was really cute. And then another year he did one, and I was like, "Okay, Lucas, how do you dye yarn?" And he like described all of the steps pretty accurately. It's like, and then you wait, and then, because he was like not really describing the yarn as much the steps that we do for making the videos. And so it's like, and then you look at it, and then you look at it. And it was great. It was great. Actually, I will get Keith on camera at some point. What I can't decide is if I should have him watch a tutorial, one of my videos, and try to replicate that, or if we could handle like me maybe blindfolded telling him what to do or something like that, something silly, just for fun. Oh, hi Marie, thank you. Yeah, I can't believe it's been 2 years. And I think when I did the Kickstarter, I was like, man, I know I have some fans, but I really, really hope that, like, you know, I just hope that people, like, enjoy this. And, yeah, so I was, like, crossing my fingers, right? And you guys, like, blew me away. And I didn't really understand the community that there was. And now we've got, like, the lab group. And it's fun that there's so many names that I recognize and that I feel like, you know, I know some of you, but it's just names on a computer. So like I see like names and new names that I see, and like when you comment on the video and I see like names that I recognize, it just makes me smile, and it just means like it means a lot, because I mean, like, I spend my days like I'm here at home and I'm just talking to myself all day. Is how I describe it. Like, oh, I'm just sitting around and I'm talking to myself and like hamming for the camera or whatever. But so it means a lot, because like I'm really not alone, and I know I'm not alone because I know you guys are watching and listening. But it's just funny when you say it that way. Oh. Aha! This is pretty. This is pretty. That would actually be a fun little challenge. Is like, how many colorways can I create with 2 colors? And just to pick 2 colors, and then like, that would be a fun like live stream challenge. Well, not even live, but like a mini like series challenge. Okay, this is mostly done, I think. So if I weren't hungry, I would keep going, but I don't think I'm comfortable. Well, I also, like, in order to like prep lunch, I have like a lot of cleaning up to do anyway, because a lot of times I'll like make something and have it pulled out and ready to go, so then I can take a break and then go in the other room. But I have like, you know, I want to like clean things up before I convert, even though I wouldn't be using the stove to make lunch. So I did just turn off the heat. Okay, I only did 4 skeins and I brought 7 downstairs. Oh dear. Well, maybe the problem is that like I have a lot of filming that I really need to do, and so like I just haven't had time to just like do something completely like random like this lately. And so part of me is like, oh, I could eat lunch and then pop back on and do some more. But I know that like I really should try to edit one more video before like the day is done, because then I can play some Minecraft tonight. And I may or may not have built a auto rainbow sheep shearing section, because that is one of my favorite things to do in Minecraft, is to have sheep in every possible color, so then I have wool in every possible color. You know, I am an indie dyer through and through. Oh, Die Hard fan. Oh, I love it. I love it. That's awesome. That's so awesome. Okay. But yeah, I think that I am probably going to sign off so that way I can go clean up and eat some lunch. But running through the final like thingy madoodles. What do I have in here? Okay, so yes, Knit Picks. Knit Picks is 15% off with the code fall15. That probably stacks with other sales and discounts on their website, including Stroll is on sale. But I would double check and see their terms and conditions. Save 10% off. With the code birthday, you can save 10% on all ready-to-ship skeins of hand-dyed yarn in my shop. That also actually applies to, I added tote bags and some other like stuff, but all ready-to-ship things in the shop. So I'm going to add that in the chat. All ready-to-ship items in the shop. Oh, with the code birthday. Yes, and so those are the two like main, those are the two main things. And I know a lot of ChemKnits patrons are on today, and I hopefully I've edited like all the stuff I've filmed so far for this month's Dyepot PS episode. It's just a longer one to film because of all the stuff that I have to do, but I think I have 3 more to dye, and then so hopefully by the end of next week I should have that up. It's just since I had limited filming days, that's what ended up happening with that. But it is coming, and I think that you guys hope it'll be worth the wait. But yeah, this October got wild. And so yeah, I guess those are those like logistical things. And goodness, it's a nice day out. I'm really excited. I hope that you guys have like fun plans for the weekend. And oh, I don't have the link because I didn't. This was so impromptu that I didn't like bring the Paradise Fibers link or anything. But I should be posting on Instagram later with the yarn that I pulled for the Murder Mysteries knit along. I'm going to try to do it. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with the schedule because of all the other stuff that I have going on, but I did go and shop in my own store. Not even in the yarn that I pulled, that I dyed, that's in my stash. No. Well, mainly because I didn't have 2 good contrasting colors in that stash. But I went into the shop and I pulled some yarn, and that's what I'm going to use because I know I'm going to be able to spin it in time to knit it. Also, I don't think I've ever really gotten 400 yards off of like 100 grams of fiber when I've been spinning. So, you know, there's that too. Well, I'll get there. I'll try. Anyway, I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and so make sure you like, subscribe, and thank you for, I've been on YouTube since, I think some of my earliest videos were in 2010. Yeah, I think 2010, probably maybe 2011, and yeah, I'm just glad that I'm able to do this, and I've been able to like turn this into something that I'm really passionate about, and I always wanted to be a teacher, and I kind of am, and so that's really fun. People ask me a lot if I'm a teacher, and I'm like, well, sort of. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Yeah, I hope that you guys will all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll chat with you soon. Bye everyone. I know this was like a totally random video, and I do need to cut out, probably do that later, I do need to cut out the really bad audio at the beginning. Ooh, goodness, hopefully YouTube will let me do that soon before people watch and are like, what is happening, Rebecca? All right, goodbye everyone. Where's, oh. And see, now I go to the preview and I wait for my face to disappear. So yeah, if you're hearing this, then sometimes like it stops for longer and things like that, but and you can't see me because I'm dancing off camera, because sometimes stuff isn't here, but when I hide my face, then I know that's when I turn off the camera. And ooh, there's a big delay. There's a really big delay. Oh, okay, that's it. Bye for real. Or bye number 2. Stop streaming.